Hey there everybody, welcome to part 3 of my burning tutorial. Let's see what we're gonna learn in this part. Okay, now this part is really much fun to play, but it is really difficult to figure out when to play the right hand. So this is gonna be a little more difficult than the part before that. But it sounds amazing, so you have no choice but to learn it. Okay, let's look at the left hand first. Left hand is very simple. You start on this chord, E, B, E, so the third chord from before, and you add those two, F sharp, G sharp. You play this chord 4 times, and then you go to the fourth chord from before, D, A, D, and add E and F sharp. Okay? This is the D major chord. This one. Okay. Then you go back to this chord. This is E major, by the way. Okay, and now instead of going back again to D major, you will go to B minor, and you're gonna play it like this: B, F sharp, B, C sharp, D. It's this chord. Okay, and you also play it 4 times. Okay, and that's it. Okay, let's just play it so far. So, E major, D major, E major, B minor. Okay? Okay, now the tricky part is gonna be the right hand. So this is how it starts. Okay, I'll give you the simple melody again. You basically just play G sharp 4 times. And before playing the second, third, and fourth G sharp, you will add in F sharp, G sharp, F sharp. Okay? I know this is explained more complicated than it has to be, but this is the right way, and that's how you can remember the patterns later on. Okay, so like this. So you played this fourth G sharp, and now you'll play this. And this is a little more tricky, because what you have to do is, you play B, A, G sharp, and you hold this G sharp for 2 notes, and then you go to F sharp. Okay? Now the difficult part is combining that with the left hand again. The first 4 G sharps are pretty easy. You just play them on the first E, and you start this bridge, F sharp, G sharp, F sharp, on the last 2 notes of each chord. So on those 2 of the left hand. Pretty simple. Okay, now it gets tricky. On the last 2 notes of the fourth time you play the first chord, you will add in this. And together it will sound like this. Okay, you see what happened? While you hold this G sharp for 2 notes, you start the second chord on the left hand. Okay? And then you play this F sharp on the second note of the second chord. Okay? Now, to see when the second chord of the left hand comes in, you can just play 2 G sharps instead of holding it for 2 notes. So it will sound like this. But you don't play the second G sharp, so you just leave it away. And then you just hold this F sharp for the second chord. Alright, let's listen to that again. Alright, now let's go to the second part of the right hand. This time you're gonna play this. And the simple melody is again G sharp, G sharp, G sharp, G sharp, F sharp. Okay? But the notes before and after you play the simple melody are different again. So this time, before you even play the first G sharp, you will already add in G sharp and F sharp. So you start with this, with those 3 notes. But you emphasize the second G sharp. This is then with this E major chord again. Okay, that's where this chord starts. But let's leave the left hand out for now. So, the first G sharp. Now before you play the second G sharp, you do almost the same. You just add in even one more note before that. You will play F sharp, G sharp, F sharp, and then go to the second G sharp. Okay? So first one, second one, and now this third G sharp is a little more complicated, and I have to take in the left hand to explain that to you. So let's look at the first 2 first. Okay, you start on the first one, and then on those 2, you start those pre-notes before you play the second G sharp. Okay, same with the third G sharp. Now usually you would add in B, A, and then G sharp and again G sharp. So it would sound like this. But you leave away the second G sharp again. And so it will sound like this. Alright? So this is pretty similar to what we did earlier. Again, let's listen to that. Alright, those were the first 3 G sharps. Now, the fourth one, even more complicated. Before you play the fourth G sharp, you will again play F sharp, G sharp, F sharp. So those little pre-notes, the little bridge before you get to the fourth melody note. This is the fourth one. And now Remember, the last note is going to be F sharp. And before you play F sharp, you will play F sharp, G sharp, B, A, G sharp. Okay? So up, and then from up here, down. And then the final F sharp. Okay? So the fourth melody note gonna sound like this. And then the fifth melody note. Alright. Now with the chords on the left hand, it's gonna sound like this. Yeah, and then you go to this fourth chord, to the B minor chord, on this final F sharp. Okay? Now you probably noticed this fourth G sharp, the melody note, is hidden in between all of these notes. And you can see that it's melody note because it starts on when the chord starts. Okay? Like this. Same with this F sharp, this last one. Okay? So all of these notes, the notes you play before the G sharp melody note, those three, and then the ones you play after it, those five, they're all played basically in one row. Okay? The melody notes are just there to hear when the left hand comes in as well, and which notes you have to emphasize. Okay, let's listen to all that again. Alright, let's combine that with the first section of this part. Alright, now we had the left hand so far till this B minor chord. And what you do now is, first off, you go back to E major. Play this 4 times again. And then again, D major. Okay, so after this B minor chord, you just play E major 4 times and D major 4 times again. Okay? And again, so far. Okay, now it gets even more complicated with the right hand. This is what you're going to play now. Now this sounds very simple. Just again about where to play what. So, we're at this B minor chord. Now, again, on the last 2 notes, on the 4th time you play this B minor chord, this comes in. Just those 3 notes on the last B minor chord. Now you start again with the E major chord. Okay? Now, what you do on this first row is you're just gonna play G sharp and F sharp back and forth, like this. Very simple. Okay, then you play it the second time, And with the right hand, you'll play this. So. Alright. G sharp, B, and then G sharp, F sharp, G sharp, F sharp. This is basically just a little interruption while playing this. Alright. So the first 3 notes, then 6 more, then this little interruption. Alright. And it will sound like this. Alright. Now you play this E major chord the 3rd time. And now it gets more simple. You play this. And you already know this. So, the 3rd time you start this E major chord, you start on this G sharp. Then you play a 2nd G sharp. The 4th time you play this chord on the left hand. And before you do that, you play F sharp, G sharp, F sharp. So. And then again, B, A, and then hold this G sharp. Don't play it when you start the next chord. And then one final F sharp. Okay, you already know this. And then just play this D major chord 4 times. Okay, one more time from this B minor chord. Alright, and now the finale is gonna sound like this. So with the right hand you will play A, G sharp, F sharp, F. Now this is actually E sharp, but too complicated to explain. We'll just call this F. And this is F sharp, G sharp, A. Okay? And with the left hand, as soon as you hit this F, you will play C sharp, G sharp, C sharp down here. Okay, and then what you do is you play this chord. This is C major, C sharp major. Okay, and what you do is you play those 3 notes with the left hand down here, and with the right hand you will just play this chord F or E sharp, G sharp, and C sharp, and you'll play it 3 times. Just the very same keys, just a different octave, different position on the keyboard. You play this chord 3 times till here, and then just add one last F or E sharp. Okay? But of course you don't just play the chords like that, but you play everything in one row upwards. Now I always just look for these Fs and place my thumb on it, and the rest kind of just goes along. I don't know if it's that simple for you too, but try to just look for one note, not for every single note that you're gonna play, because you're gonna get confused. So just remember this chord, these 3 notes, F, G sharp, C sharp, and then copy them up here, and then add one last F. Okay? Let's listen to this last section of this part once more. And these 4 last notes on the right hand, they come in on the last 2 notes on the 4th time you play the D major chord. Okay? And then this last F. Alright, so let's listen to all of that again.